let's do a quick overview of how this deck works, okay? So, let's go through it. So first of all, we've got this guy here. We've got the Hawker Healer. To be honest, he's a bit of a utility card. He can be a finisher. Like if we drop Instagram, we get loads of neophytes out. We can then obviously drop this guy as a final player on the row where we got the most, and he can give +3 to everything, and you can get incredible value from that. Actually, sometimes you could have 6 cards on a row after that play. Obviously, getting 18 value plus his own body, 19. That's pretty good. And these guys, the archers, you want to be looking to get these in your opening hand. I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually tempted to drop the thunder and put. I'm actually tempted to drop the thunder and put that in. Put another one in. These are really, really good for just removal early game. We can bounce them back with the blue commandos, blue mountain commandos, and generally. You know, dealing 5 damage, they can actually remove a lot of minions in the game. So, and even if they don't remove them, like say you've got an 8 minion card, you can knock 5 off, and then with all the magic we're going to be playing, you know, a Lacerate or a Stamford Tremors, and quite often then that's enough to finish it off. So we also want to be Elven Mercenaries. We also want to be trying to mulligan to get as many of these in our opening hand. These guys are one of the staples of the deck. What we've got is a lot of spells, and so what we need is that Elven Mercenary to drop down early game, start playing the spell, start thinning the deck, and then we want the Blue Mountain Commandos to use to sort of bounce back the mercenaries, so that we can reuse them and get double the value on the spells. Blue Mountain Commandos we've talked about. These are your sort of yo-yo effect. These are what are going to allow these guys to sort of bounce back into your hand. They return a bronze unit, so just remember that, you know, you can't use them on silver, you can't use them on gold. A couple of times I've got excited when my opponent has dropped a spy, and I thought, oh, I could blue commando them. No, not if they're a silver card, you can't do that. But these guys, again, very useful. They can potentially be a card that is a little bit clunky in your hand if, you know, you've played out, say, turn 1, a lot of your sort of archers and your mercenaries, and sometimes you end up with this card and you're sort of like, it's not really doing much. But there is a way we can get around that, and I'll show you in a minute. Now this guy is the Sheldon Skaggs. Now I'll be honest, I've put him in just because he's got a 10 body, and he's just the one thing in the deck that just gives me that kind of like just raw power off, playing a minion with no buffs, nothing. And it can be important because sometimes you play all this magic and you can be left with, you know, 2 spells and this guy, and he can be enough then to just hold the board. To be honest with you, he's probably the thing I'm going to remove from the deck as soon as I get. I'm really thinking this deck wants Aeromancy, because I've got so much that can be played on any row, that Aeromancy would be a really powerful tool in this deck to again to be able to just sort of stifle an enemy row. Then we've got, what else we got? Yeah, so Instagram is essentially your game winner. This is the guy you want to be bringing him down as usually your second to last card or your last card. You could drop him second to last and then play the healer. You could drop him second to last and then play Torville on the row where the most neophytes come out. Or quite often, I will look to play Yennefer after him and start buffing all the neophytes. Eglace, just a great card, just a really, really, really great legendary for Scoia'tael. Lots of tricks in this deck. You can see we're using Ethne as the leader. So what she does is she can sort of bring Eglace back, and Eglace we can use, for example, on the Last Wish. We can use her on we can use her to play an enemy Scorch if we want, but we can sort of double lacerate, so we can bounce her back and get double value if we need to. And then we've got Yennefer. Yennefer's been pretty good in this deck, actually. I haven't got... who's the hero that does 6 damage? I haven't got him, so I put Yennefer in this deck, and she's actually been doing really well. Great synergy with Instagram, obviously. Great synergy there. She can also do damage, obviously, by if we've got quite a clear board, and they've got playing monsters, and they've got quite a lot of minions, small minions. She's really good at clearing. And again, another really good one to use with the hero power with Ethne to bounce Yennefer back and sometimes double buff Instagram's neophytes is enough to just put them completely out of range. Milva, still learning with this card. One of the things you can do is obviously get even more value from your Elven Mercenaries. You've got Elven Mercenary down. They've buffed a silver or a bronze card with potions or whatever, and then you play a Milva, puts that back in their hand. They lose that buff, and obviously you get a Mercenary back in your hand, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to bounce them back, and then you can obviously go again with the spell. Another use on Milva there is sometimes your opponent will play like a spy, and if that's the highest value, you can use Milva and obviously bounce that so that you then get the spy and can play it and keep up with the card advantage game. So onto the specials, we have got the Last Wish. Fantastic card. Only just crafted this card, and so far, brilliant card. It is neutral, and it allows you to draw 2 cards and discard 2. And I think in this game, that is a really powerful card because you know, it is a game where you draw 10 cards out of possible, a whole deck, but 25 minimum. So, you know, being able to swap out and get the ones that you really need is absolutely vital, and it's a great way of thinning your deck as well, because the 2 that you don't choose, the 2 that you, after you've drawn 2 cards, sorry, you then discard 2 cards. So another way of sort of thinning your deck and putting more of these spells into your discard pile, which means that Instagram will actually generate more neophytes. We've got the decoy, again, really useful, great synergies in the whole deck pretty much with all the battle cries, if you like, in the deck. So really good synergy there. And then we've got Stamp of Tremors, we've got Lacerate. These are the 2 major damage dealers that keep the board empty, keep clearing the board. And then we've got Azul's Thunder, as I say. I'm playing this at the minute, but this could be one that I drop. But again, combined with like Nature's Gift, it can mean that I can get a few sort of strength 6 damages out, a few thunderbolts out there to clear off ancient ghouls or anything that's sort of, you know, like a Sarah or something that's threatening. And then we've got Toraville. Now, I haven't really learned to use this card too well, but I believe what I need to be doing with Toraville is essentially playing it to bolster the turn where you've got the most minions down. Often that can mean right at the end game when Inscrim comes down and drops the neophytes, but it doesn't have to be. It can be when you've sort of got four or 5 of these down. And then last but not least, we've got Yavin. Now again, this is a spy, so this is going to really help us to keep up with the card advantage. I often try to play him into the turn when I want to lose, because it's putting 11 value down. Or if you're playing like monsters, for example, where they often have a lot of weather, you can play Yavin after they've played the weather effect. And it will also, please don't forget, it does remove 2 strength from all of it on the row, so it can act as a bit of an AoE as well. So that is the deck, guys.